Everyone, it's Libby from Meister Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the ancestors past, present and future. Welcome to you, your guides, my guides and the universal energies out in the garden today. Absolutely glorious day, so why not? Okay, for those that are asking, Mum's doing really well. She had infusion of platelets today, blood test tomorrow, hemoglobin on Friday, and then it will be next week as an assessment to see, motorcycle going past, assessment to see whether she's become infusion dependent, or whether her body's actually been kickstart back into gear. So yeah, well, next week will be very telling. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Much appreciated. Now, while I was waiting for my mum, wasn't long enough to sort of come home and do anything. So I just took myself to the hospital chapel, picked up a coffee from the hospital cafe and went for a walk. But the hospital chapel, I was just reading, it's a non-denominational, it's all faiths, and just a beautiful environment. I just thought that I would read the little motivational or inspirational quotes that they had around the place, and they had them all from the likes of Albert Einstein right through to Joy Cowley, Cowley, and this was from Joy Cowley. But what I'm actually going to do, she's used the word God. I'm actually going to swap out the word God for spirit, and I just found this really quite inspirational and very telling. So what this quote is, it says, it's called Take Time. It doesn't matter if you don't know who spirit is, or if you don't have a name for spirit. That's not important. Let go of all ideas about spirit and know only that spirit is. The one who seeks awareness of the presence is always rewarded. Spend some time each day listening to your own inner longing. That is the shape of spirit in you, or the God essence in each of us. I just thought that was really lovely and wanted to share that with you. Okay, on to news of the day. Don't think there's mosquitoes, but there's little bugs in the garden. So if I sort of wipe at myself, I do apologize for that. Mosquitoes do love me, though. I don't think they have mosquitoes over here. Okay, what do I want to have? Oh, yeah, yes, they do, and there was one. Okay, so if I get a bit slappy, I do apologize. Okay, so I also came across another quote yesterday, which I thought was really interesting by, of all people, Napoleon Bonaparte, that said, "War is when the government tells you who the enemy is. Revolution is when you figure it out for yourself." As we are entering this potentially, hopefully, soft revolution stage in our world. But what I also found interesting today across my news feed was that my guides had said a while back, when De Silva got into power, he would start stopping the logging and start regenerating the Amazon. And apparently, over this last 12 months, the logging in the Amazon has decreased by yet another 11%. Now, it's not stopped. We haven't reached that switch around point as of yet. The guides did say it would be like trying to turn the Titanic with the iceberg, but it will get there. So that was good news today. Okay, where on earth do I start? Okay. I might start with, I'm going a bit around the world today. Actually, I'm going to start with something a little bit, I won't call it fun, but let's have a look. So, no, I'll go for this one. Okay, right. I hope your guides are as bossy as mine. Okay, so what's happened, what's come out of the EU on the news today was that, well, I think it was yesterday actually, so I'm a day behind. The EU has fined Twitter, X, whatever you like to call it, 120 million over the blue tick exploitation. So basically what it was you pay us the money, you'll get a blue tick, but we're not going to verify who you are. So it made you appear legitimate if you had a blue tick. Didn't mean you were, because there was no verification that you or your organisation was who you said you were and where you were based. So under the new-ish EU Digital Services Act. It's only newish. Um, the ex has been fined 120 million euros, not dollars, euros. So apparently what happened in retaliation, as petty tyrants do, he automatically then uh, cancelled the EU regulator's account. You know, just petty sandpit, take your toys and go home. You'll throw them out of the sandpit in a tantrum, that sort of thing. And this is what all these tyrants are like, and it's because they are being held accountable and they don't like it. Well, tough bickies. Also passed my news feed was that if the tax legislation that Bernie had suggested, I think a couple of years back had been implemented. Um, Musk's tax rate basically would have funded Social Security for the next 75 years or something along those lines, but he would still be, a multi-trillionaire. Okay, so where do I want to go with this, and why do I feel this is so important? I feel this is important because this is the first case that has been bought and completed under the Digital Services Act successfully. Been fined, been charged. Okay, apparently, also in Australia, X was fined in 2023 $610,000. Drop in the ocean for them for failing to cooperate with the authorities in regards to child abuse practices, because they're not self-regulating. That's the problem. These social media platforms, they've had 20 years to get their act together to, I'm watching him. He's a big whopper of a mosquito, but he's off that way. They've had 20 years to actually get their act together to put in protections and self-regulate, and they haven't. And that's why the governments and the commissions and the watchdogs and the oversights are all starting to step up. The reason why I found this interesting was because back in January of this year, the EU, with the introduction of this act, was talking about freezing Musk's assets for meddling in elections. Now, for some reason, things come across and I probably read on it at the time, but I can't remember what I said, but these things come across my table when there is relevance for them. Now, I have split the deck and these two cards showed up. This one was on the bottom, so back up against the wall with the regulations, desperately trying to hold on to his speaking stick. But this one is about the abuse of power and self-sabotage. It is a self-sabotage card, but it's a bullying, petty tyrant abuse of power that nobody's listening to anymore. Well, some are, but is being walked away. There's no more placating. There's no more, oh, they're, here, have a, free access to whatever it is, child PORN or whatever you like to call it, and free access to fiddling with our elections. So, and as I'm poker shuffling and talking about the elections, here we've got the Three of Pentacles, which is, well, it can be dark money behind the scenes, but these are sort of those plotting in secret. And when I'm talking about elections, Pentacles mean the votes themselves. And we've got here the Judgment card, a huge wake-up call coming, but also the dust being shook off and actually waking up and coming out of the stupor. If you're wondering what deck it is, it's the Golden Universal Tarot. So my question is, what I want to have a look at is the EU freezing Musk's assets. They floated this back in January, or it was mentioned in January with the could be Page of Pentacles. They're looking at it in regards to election meddling. And of course, the likes of the far right parties and Farage in the UK and all them's, getting their lacy knickers in a knot and clutching their pearls. Okay, let's have a look. The EU freezing Fleon's assets. They were talking about it for meddling in elections. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. What do we need to know? Okay, you want me to stop there now? I've got two cards that popped out, and I've seen one of them. Oh, there he goes. Got him! Skeeto. Probably can't see it. Gone. Dead. One down. Come on down. Okay. Hopefully you can see these cards. Oh, I've got two that's popped out there. Okay. Right. This was the first one though. Oh, and on the base we've got the stealing. The stealing of the election. Okay. This is bigger scale. This is bigger scale. This is on an international scale. He's got the globe in his hand and the Two of Wands, deciding what plan to go with. So this is a plan that is underway. It hasn't come to fruition. It's a plan that is underway. Up on the battlements, so this is about protection and looking at on the world scale. Now I've got these two cards, so I've got two challenge cards to this plan. What are they? Right, the first one is the oligarchical money. They will be fighting tooth and nail about this, but this could also indicate the challenge is the end of the oligarchs. You got the fading old white Aryan master race wannabe there, but life is passing through this portal to a new beginning. So, ending of the oligarchical money and legal nightmare. Okay, they're telling me this is from Fleon's point of view. Now, I call him Fleon because he is the flea on, the parasite on the back of the United States taxpayer, because that's where he gets all his money from government contracts. So, okay, I'll just move that out of the way because that might be fiddling with the light. So, okay, they're looking at it. The challenge for the oligarchs is their time is coming to an end and it is a nightmare. They will legally fight this to the death and potentially illegally fight it to the death. But yeah, it's turning into a nightmare for the oligarchs, the big money tech bros, etc. Okay. Ooh, financially out in the cold. Seizing of the assets. Energy he's stewing in at the moment. I like that. In the past, I think they're ready to pounce because we've got in the past the hermit, the isolation, and the investigation, the shining a light on the path forward. If I was using my gilded tarot royale, it would be shining a light on the snake, but shining a light on the path forward. Right. The energy over this is the King of Cups. Now, I don't know who is the head of the European Commission in regards to this, or the French watchdog, or anything along those lines. But he's looking at this really keenly and is about to take action. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, the immediate future, loss, disappointment, kicked over his cups, because I'm feeling this is from Fleon's point of view. Finding himself out in the cold, his assets seized, the cups are kicked over, loss, having an emotional spat about it. What else have we got? Disappointment that what's on offer. He may get, or refusing to look at what's on offer. And then the three cups here that he kicks over, internally justice. With the so Four of Cups, but internally Ace of Wands. Now, if I'm looking at this from the French Commission point of view, they may get some but not all. Rejecting any offer that's made, determination to bring justice here. Okay, let's see where this goes. Hopes and fears, protecting elections, protecting votes. And Seven of Swords, legal restriction. I'm really thinking this is from Fleon's point of view. Hands tied, tied to a post, Eight of Swords in the ground around him, restricted. I think he's going to be restricted. Um, Now, the Chariot card. It's my military card when I'm talking about what's happening with the US regime, but I'm talking about Fleon here. Now, the Chariot card, so clarifying this Eight of Swords, is very much about. I'm always drawn to the fact that the two sphinxes are lying down. Rodin is a winner, but unable to move forward. So thought he was all that in a cup of tea, and because he was the wealthiest man in the world, he could do whatever he liked, but inability to actually move forward because times are a changing with the Wheel of Fortune card, and it's also a 10, an ending card. It's also karma coming back, and we've got the Moon card, secrets being revealed. This is big. Oh, and we've got the Devil tied to the Devil, and then we've got the Page of Swords being brought forward in regards to governments with the Hierophant. And hidden agendas being revealed. Again, secrets being revealed. And there's Russia. Russia. Oh, goodness me. On the bottom, we've got the steel. Oh, I love that. And the full illumination. And then we've got the walking away. So he may abandon Europe. Can't be a bad thing, that really. Again, taking his bat and ball and going home because he's having a hissy fit. Or this could be simply walking away from Fleon. The steel, fully exposed, walking away. Page of Wands, information being brought forward, and Ten of Swords. Ending. Right, so what's going on in Europe at the moment in regards to their Digital Services Act is huge, big. That's why it crossed my path again this morning. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. Is this going to reveal election meddling? Let me just put it elsewhere in the world. Is this going to be, because we've often seen, a lot of us readers for a long time now have been seeing that the information about the election meddling in the US will come from overseas, like undeniable evidence. Okay, let's have a look. And I'm not just talking propaganda here. Okay, let's have a look. Will Fleon ending up in trouble regarding election meddling in Europe extend to other parts of the world? Oh. Okay, this flipped over. Again, I hope you can see it because the sun is just having a little bit of a dapple here. Eight of Wands. A lot of information coming out, and it's going to come out pretty quickly from this investigation with the Hermit. Wind's getting up a bit. Didn't bring my mother's crystals out. I'll have to. The cards start blowing away. I'll pause you and go and get some crystals. Okay, at the foundation, we've got the false knight bearing gifts. It's going to start a waterfall or an avalanche. The horse is looking at the waterfall there. The knight, I mean, he can be a lovely knight. He can be offering good, but the energy that it's stewing at the moment, or this could simply be, thank you, love it when my guides give me a slap up the side of the head. This could be the European Commission offering to other parts of the world what they know, and it's going to start a waterfall avalanche. Here we've got the Emperor in the past. The or want to be emperors in the past. And they are in the past. This my way or the highway dictatorship or misogynistic autocracy, it's in the past. It's dying. That's why they're so desperate to hang on, because it is a dying way of doing. Now, democracy as we've known it is not necessarily going to be what is in the future, the democracy in the past, because that's not perfect. It's got failings as well. But whatever comes for the future, it won't be this dictatorship. Okay, crowning the reading, the truth being brought forward with the Page of Swords, the immediate future, the governments being presented to the higher authorities. Could be courts, could be commissions, could be governments, could be military. Let's see where it goes. Well, there's my military card, externally, military. Internally, the Sun card. Look at these major arcanas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What was that? No, that was the 8. 5 major arcanas. I'm just going to put that there and go and pop that on top. Go and get some crystals. I shall just bring you up, pause you, and be back in a moment. Right, back again. Sorry about that. Yeah, my mother's crystals. So I'll use those to hold the cards down. So come on down. Right, what have we got here? I'll just pop that one there and that one there, and we should be right for the moment. Okay. It's just a little bit of a swirling breeze, which is absolutely lovely. Okay, hopes and fears. Oh, gosh, contracts and agreements getting exposed. Another major arcana. Now, if you're wondering why we go, holy crumbs, major arcana, in a deck of 78 cards, 22 of them are these major arcana. And what they are is they're not allocated to a particular suit. They have a meaning of their own, which is a very powerful meaning. So all of the outcomes so far, majors. The challenge is the investigation. The past, the Emperor. Okay, let's see what this outcome is. 9, there's that 9 of Swords again. The legal nightmare situation, because by crikey it is. You've got the voters with the 10 of Cups and the treason card. Wow. Okay, let me just put it out there. What's on the bottom? Oh, the throwing under the bus, the across the aisle working, or the coming together. I keep seeing, especially in the US, when it's exposed, I keep seeing in the US there's going to be a joint panel that will include Democrats, Republicans, military leaders, reliable military leaders, and those that are qualified for the job. We've then got the 4 of Swords having to reflect deeply, and there will be some in retreat, and we've got the Devil card, the Page of Cups, and then the hard work starts, or it could simply be putting the jigsaw puzzle pieces in regards to the election in place, and it could be a follow the money trail. So I think and as I said, I think this is why it's come across my feed today. The European, so they've had a successful fining and prosecution of Leon. It is just the start. And what's going to happen is that they're going to share what they know. Okay, love to you all. Take care. Bye-bye.